Hello. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween over there. How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, just enjoying the night. We're not doing any trick-or-treating. I don't know if you are.
Pretty spooky over there. No, we took the kids out for a... Oh, look at that. Looks a treat. It's not real, it's just a fake one. We took the kids out for a little walk round, just they wanted to get dressed up, and then no trick-or-treating, no knocking on the doors, just a little walk, and some of the neighbours have put things out like we have, so...
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did a Halloween party yesterday for the kids. Just him and his friends, and did some spooky ghost stories, dressed up, you know. I did a fisherman's outfit.
Is that the one where your farmer friend made an appearance?
Oh, yeah, I heard about him as well. Yeah, he had a story to tell. And so did old Bill Ships. He was on the run most of the night, though, but...
So what are we reviewing today, then? Are we doing a little special, aren't we?
Okay, as you can tell, all you spooky beer drinkers, it's a Halloween special.
Ooh. Right, that's enough of that.
Yeah, that's getting a bit
Tell you what I've got, Ref, a little treat here. I'm going to introduce my can before we review it. I've got a can. Look at this beautiful can. I'll show you the whole thing. Oh, that's the brewery's emblem there, that.
I love the artwork.
Is a brewery called Top Rope, and the Halloween beer that they've got is a Halloween stout, which I've been really looking forward to, and it's called Halloween Havoc. But more about that later in the review. What about yourself?
So I have a beer called Sweet Fang, Halloween themed, with some kind of shitty zombie on the front.
Oh, a bit like werewolf zombie or something.
Oh yeah, it's like a werewolf with its. I love the artwork, like yours. And yeah, this is a milk stout.
Fang.
You're a fan?
I don't know. You might be. Is it a stout? Is it? Did you say?
Yeah, it's a stout. I'll go into more details when we start drinking this one. And it's another Texas beer again. I think I did a Texas beer last time, right?
Well, ours is mine is a British beer. When I ordered it, I wasn't sure about it at all. Didn't know anything about the brewery at the time, and just bought it on face value because it had a pumpkin on the front. And yeah, it's a Liverpool. It's from Liverpool. It's from Liverpool.
Oh, a little bit Scouse, is it? Little bit like...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I thought I was talking to Paul McCartney then.
Oh, I know. I can't do the accent. Oh, tidy. And where did you find that one?
Oh, well, I was having trouble because there isn't any off licenses around here anymore. It's all supermarkets, I'm afraid. There's there's a big sort of wine bulk place, Majestic Wines, which is all around the country. I didn't bother going in there, and because they're a bit out of the way. And then I found in Barnstaple a little craft beer shop on Butcher's Row, and I tapped them up. I had seen it before, I'd not been in there. I tapped them up, and they had a Halloween beer on there, so I reserved it and I went in there. But it's a nice little place. Not very big at the minute. I think they're going to expand it. Right. But yeah, they've probably got, they've definitely got 50 plus beers in there, craft beers, stouts, ales, a few ciders. They also do a line of gins and that, but
oh, nice.
Past that.
Lover's Ruin. Yeah, stay away from that. That's interesting.
Good ale, not the clear stuff.
No. That's interesting because there's so many different places here in Texas to choose beers from. We have a few chains, Total Wine, Specs. There's a few others as well, but they focus on obviously your spirits, and your wines and such like that. But they have a massive, massive section for craft beers, or focused on craft beers.
You can get craft beers from the supermarkets, and they have guest ones and things like that. And of course, they've got the ales, which, you know, being from local breweries, Dartmoor, Exmoor, and some from Cornwall, and that, they're all available. But to find little unique ones, it's good. But I mean, when I was in this craft beer shop, I have found some other ones of breweries that I didn't even realise, very small microbreweries and slightly larger ones in North Devon. So that was
Really?
I bought a couple of them. One of them is, was it a stout? I've got them for another occasion.
Okay.
So, yeah, it'd be interesting.
I think we'll do a stout special at some point this winter. Just to, you know, we're in the season for stouts right now, hence my one. So we'll try and get in a few interesting stouts, maybe going into Christmas, perhaps.
Oh, I bet it's getting cold over there, isn't it? What is it, 12? Oh.
15.
We had ice on the car this morning.
Bloody hell, I miss those days. Do I, though?
No, you fucking don't. It's 10 minutes to leave. Oh, that could be a drag, but I'm not sure it will be.
No. Boiling the kettle, carrying the jug down, pouring it on the window, even though you're not technically supposed to pour hot water on a windshield, but I do.
On a windshield? Oh, you've gone proper American on this. I vaguely understand what you're talking about now.
What do we call it in Britain? Just the front window?
A windscreen?
A windscreen, that's right. Yeah. Oh my God.
What do you call it in Wales?
The window.
Right. What's new there? Anything interesting going on stateside?
Yeah. Election obviously is building up to the election, you know, a few days out yet, obviously. But yeah, it's all a bit chaotic there. This is interesting. I have seen some in preparation for the election coming up in a few days, but they've started boarding up windows.
Right. For Mexican.
No, they're
policy boarding up ground floor windows.
There was that big movement back along Black Lives Matters, and there was big protests in San Antonio. But it wasn't really people associated with that movement. Apparently there was just people there, just there for rioting, for the fun of it, and smashing windows, you know. It was chaos. So
the same group of people that complain that their local taxes have gone up. Well, that's because you smashed the fuck out of the last lot of stuff. They've got to pay for it again, you idiots.
I thought you were going on to mention Uber then for a minute. Oh, they took all the business away from the taxis.
Uber? Well, you know, you snooze, you lose. It's an evolving economy, isn't it? You know.
It is. Yeah. So, yeah, that's going on. They're kind of boarding up the windows, ready for people to throw rocks and smash stuff.
Oh, good. That's good fun.
All good fun, isn't it?
You'll have to let us know how that goes down.
I will. Obviously, it's a few days out yet. I think it pretty much falls towards bonfire night.
I have just finished your top. What's on your top then? It says hot. Let's have a stand up.
Right. So, yeah. Ooh, here we go. What do you think, folks?
It's a beauty.
So, do you know what brewery that is, Mart?
Yeah, because I read it on the top.
No.
I already. Anyway. Have you had any of their other ones, like Hobgoblin, obviously, and then they've got the dark one, and then they got Giant and other ones like that?
I think I've only had the Hobgoblin.
When my brother lived in London, he lived near Peckham, and there was a proper Witchwood pub.
Really?
Yeah, all of them was on draft in there.
So owned by the brewery?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one to chalk up, isn't it?
Yeah, eventually, yeah, but it's a bit of a bugger to get to. But yeah, no, we never went in it. It was one of those things where I got off the train and thought, oh, brilliant, we'll go there later. And then You know what they're like over there. It's just around the corner. It's just up here. You end up walking about 2 fucking miles to get anywhere. So.
Yeah, I got a lot.
We went in an interesting pub around the corner. Quiet little place. Small little place. I mean, proper old pub, and it had a skeleton hanging above the bar that the barman said was real, and I believed it.
There's a Halloween. There's a Halloween tale for you.
Look at my top, hey? This is the most American top I could find.
It looks like you should be going to Alaska or something. It looks Alaskan.
A big old wolf, isn't it? Yeah,
That's
it's a Christmas.
beautiful.
Yeah.
You should show the background as well, just to show it's kind of Halloween-y there. You got that big, see the skull, guys?
Yeah, there's a skull there.
Spooky. But that's up all year round, right?
That is up all year round. Our Halloween stuff is all out the front. It's an absolute treat.
Oh, man.
With legs sticking out the ground, everything. But there we are. So we're going to get to this little review then, should we, Ref?
I guess before we get off on a tangent, as per usual, do you want to start us or should I?
I don't mind. I'd like to pour it. I know I've been waiting for it. So, let's have a look. Give a little view of it again as we're here. So we've got it here, and it is by the Top Rope Brewery, which I will be a little bit of a lowdown on later. And it's the Halloween Havoc Halloween Stout. And let's have a look. It's precisely 5% volume. So I'm going to tilt the camera down. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to hold the glass up. I don't want to mess it up. We've got a good signal in a minute, so I don't want to mess it up. Hang on.
And it's a stout, you said?
It says it is.
Okay.
We'll see.
I like the glass.
Little bobbly glass.
It reminds me of the 70s.
Not as good as your one the other day with the handle on the side. I'd love one of them again.
Yeah, I'll have to show that one off one of these times. That's a nice pour, actually. It's nice and thick. Wow. What's the smell? Did it have a scent to it, mate?
It has got a scent to it, yeah. Let me sit for a minute.
Picking up anything?
No head.
No.
Yeah, that's different. It's more of a... there's no widget in the can, so it's not like a...
I'm kind of curious.
I think I'm going to... Yeah. It's chocolatey. It's pleasant. I mean, it's one of those, I think it is different.
Is it pretty thick? I'm just kind of looking at that and I can't...
It's like a watery stout, if you want to say.
Okay.
It's not like a thick Guinness stout, you know, it's not like that. It's like a watery one.
Oh, interesting.
So, let me have a little, I'll pour the rest in.
Yeah.
And I'll read what it says on the side.
Yeah, I'd like to know. More curious.
Yeah, so it's got malted barley oats in it. It's so hard to read in this light. I should have put the light on.
That's just age catching up with you.
Not with me.
Ever you flow.
It looks like I'm just drinking a big old glass of roller cola.
It does. I'm surprised there's no head on that, actually.
Yeah, so am I. I was actually hoping that it may have had a widget in the can and I might have got a nice head on it to cover this moustache up with a frothy one. It's not. It's more of a traditional stout, you know.
Give you a hint of frost on your tash.
Like a Mackelson's or something like that, you know.
That's interesting.
But do you want me to do a little review of the boys that are behind this, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Just, I guess, probably as you're on it and in the flow, right? Just tell us a bit about
Yeah, well,
it.
it's Top Rope Brewing. That's the name of the brewery, and it's two guys that were actually real ale and craft beer nuts. They met at a brewing club in Liverpool, and they got chatting and they became friends and everything. And one of them had a background of brewing, and the other one was a bit of a sort of an office-based guy, I think maybe with computers and stuff, that was sick and tired of the 9 to 5. And they had an idea to try and maybe brew their own beer and come up with some recipes and ideas. And then one of them's, they set up a little microbrewery in the back of their garden. And then that was in 2016, so only 4 years ago.
Wow.
And then they became a bit more popular. They've won a couple of the awards by the Brewdog. Brewdog done a Liverpool awards like for new upcoming beers, and they won a couple of them. And now they've expanded, and they're actually just crept over the border now, and they're based in Wales, in North Wales, not far from our captain's stomping ground and Wrexham Lager boys. Not very far at all. Not very far at all. So they took over from another brewery, I believe, or another microbrewery that was selling up, and they've expanded, and now they're at it full time.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and you know, I hadn't heard of them before. There's so many of these things, and then I've ordered this drink, and it is nice. It's not.
I have to check out their other beers as well, see what they have.
Yeah, the beers are incredible names, because they're both. Not only did they have a love of beer and brewing and all things crafty and alcoholic, if you like, they had a mutual respect and a mutual love of wrestling. Hence, Top Rope as the name of their company. So
WWE.
I went to the website, which is very easy to find. Just type in Top Rope Brewing and it comes up. And they've got a core range of beers that they have going all the time. And then they do speciality ones like this Halloween Havoc, which, if any of you remember, was a WCW event back in the day, in the early 90s. And then they've got some, I've listed a few here. They've got Papa Mango. They've got Get the Tables, which is the old 3D, Devon Dudley and the boys. They've got Bash at the Beach, which was another WCW event. And then two total genius names. They've got Vanilla Monsoon, after the famous ex-wrestler and commentator Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And then the best one yet, and I've got to have it. And because you work in Austin, sometimes we've got to get a couple of cans of this when you come over.
Right.
Let me just get my tongue around this. Old Stone Cream Austin.
Genius.
Absolute genius, after the Texas Rattlesnake himself. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold says
so. Hey, is he actually from Texas?
Who?
Steve Austin.
Yeah, I should think so.
I hope so. We're saying this now. I have no idea.
He calls himself the Texas Rattlesnake. His surname's Austin.
There you go.
Now you're getting me doubting it. I would love it if he's actually really posh, but I have seen another show on there, the Broken Skull Punch or something it's called. And
yes, he's from the Hamptons originally.
Yeah. But anyway, I wonder if they've sent him a couple of them beers. They've got to have, surely.
It would be a good marketing ploy for them, you know. I don't know if he still wrestles.
If they haven't, then you know they should do. I mean, they got the company. What a way to get over there, send him his beers. I'm sure they would have.
And make an establishment in Texas, you know, get into the market over here. Maybe that's an idea for you guys.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
yeah.
you should send us a few, and then we could review all of your beers. And so, if you're watching, get us some tickets when they're back out. Hey, that boxing I was on about in San Antonio, little aside.
Yeah.
With old Javonta Tank Davis, he had knockout of the year.
Really?
Oh, he sparked him out. He went out like he'd drunk a 10-gallon pitcher of Halloween Havoc. He was out for the count.
I'll have to look at the highlights. I completely forgot about that, and I know it was happening, but yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, just down the road. But go on, and I know you're gagging. You must be thirsty. Get your paw on, mate. What you got?
My beer's getting warm, but that's not a bad thing as a stout. You know, they say you should take it out of the fridge maybe 10, 15 minutes before and just let it stand a little bit.
Who says that?
Not me. Beer connoisseurs. They say it just captures. It kind of goes back to that old saying that they used to take the piss out of the Brits for drinking warm beer, but sometimes you can pick up the taste of the beer a little bit more if it's left out slightly. You know, you can start tasting the different flavors in a beer. Sometimes if it's too cold.
I'm a bit like that with food myself. I would prefer if food comes out, like something, I know curries are hot and bloody blah, but what I'm talking about is the actual temperature of the food. If I leave it for 5 minutes or so, I prefer it because I think I can taste myself. I can taste the flavours better rather than just going, oh, it's hot, you know?
I'm the opposite to you, though.
You are?
I panic that it's going to get too cold. So I do an English breakfast every Sunday, and I cook it, and then I put it on a hot plate on top of the oven, and then I have to rush over and eat it as fast as I can before it gets too cold, because I'm worried it's going to be cold. I'm going to be eating cold food.
I think that's probably something down to your grandmother warping your mind.
It's something to do with the war.
Marcus, eat it. Just poking you. You'll be licking that pavement. Can't do the accent. You'll be licking the pavement.
It was awful. But you tried. That's the main thing. All right, sorry, we're going off. So again, my beer is Sweet Fang, and it's brewed in Fort Worth, Texas, by the Panther Island Brewing, and it's a stout, a milk stout.
Oh, I've got a milk stout from Bristol in the fridge that I bought, so that'll be a treat.
Keep it for Stout Week, maybe, if you're not tempted by then. And it's 6% alcohol, and let me just do the pour.
Hey, it's all about you, innit? Short and stout.
I'm not as stout, I'm skinny, ain't I?
You're not. Go on then, what is it?
Broad shoulders. Scent? It just smells stouty. It just reminds me of Guinness. There's nothing pulling out of it, you know.
There's nothing like Guinness or any of the others. This has got its own scent to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I wish you had smell-o-vision.
Maybe it's straps.
But this is meant to be a chocolate peanut butter sweet stout.
Say it again, what?
A chocolate peanut butter sweet stout.
Oh, I thought you said penis. Sorry.
Is it my strong Texas accent? Okay, let's show you the pour.
Oh, what's that glass?
Yeah, I'll show you that. It's from a brewery.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I will admit, I am slightly disappointed. I've got no head whatsoever.
I know. I mean, I'm surprised at that, but I guess if the taste is there, it doesn't matter too much.
No, it matters.
But this
fucking 95, it matters.
But this is a glass I got from Albert's Brewery in Austin.
Oh, that's a lovely one, that.
Yeah, it's a little man. It's a good tasting beer,
Yeah.
actually.
Go on, do the taste. Let's have a look.
I said tasting. I meant tasting glass. Need to get you a few of these. Oh, that's very bitter. It's not very sweet, actually. I'm surprised. It kind of states it's a sweet one. It's nice. It's pretty thick.
What's the percentage then?
6%.
Oh, it is up there a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit more. I'm trying to pick out that peanut. I'm not quite getting it right yet. I'm definitely getting the hints of chocolate. Yeah, that's nice. And it's I guess it's kind of, a lot of these stouts are generally higher than 6%, so it's not an overly outrageous percentage. Like yours, is 5%.
Yeah, but yours is just a small can, isn't it? What's that?
It
Mine's
is.
5.
And you've got,
what's that? 300?
yeah, I guess so. Is that 300? It's like a can of Coke. It's a can of Coke size.
Two something. Yeah, this is maybe it's a 440. This one. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to show you a quick example of another stout. We're not drinking it today. We're not. One of the black is Beautiful, and this one's 9%, and that's a bigger can, obviously. But most stouts, in my experience, generally are higher on the ABV.
They certainly seem to be in America. I mean, some of the ones you've been drinking when we've just been batting off of this normally, like you go, oh, it's 9.5%, and you're drinking it at fucking 12 o'clock midday. For me, it's like dinner time, and you're sitting there just before lunch drinking a 9% beer in 30-degree heat.
I think that comes down to my upbringing, because I spent a lot of time with my great uncle David, God bless his soul, and we used to go to the pub for a lunchtime pint, 11 o'clock, early doors, 11 o'clock, and get in a couple of pints, just 2 pints, and then go home, have a sleep of an afternoon, and then you go back out. But that was traditionally what pubs would do, right?
No, I get that. No, of course, bloody hell, I've been drinking at all sorts of hours in the morning. What I'm saying to you is sometimes when we're just sitting having a chat, you're drinking a 9% beer. And it's not like you're drinking some fucking Bud or Miller Lite. You're drinking a 9% beer, and then you're going out, like we'll chat for half an hour and have a drink together. And then you'll go out for the rest of the afternoon.
Without any sleep.
Yeah, just give you a little bit of that when you go outside, especially in that heat. I don't know how you do it.
And when I'm working, this would be interesting. When I'm working with my father-in-law on a Saturday morning, we drink a beer called Rolling Rock, and it's very low. It's kind of like what's the comparison? I guess like Miller Lite or something like that, or a Carlin, but it's just good working beer.
I know, in the sun and that. Yeah, if it's
well, like we used to go to Lidl's and pick up all those bottles of cheap lagers. Remember?
24 bottles of lager for £4.50.
Exactly. It's the same principle. Oh my goodness. And it was just like drinking water, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I used to because I lived in Essex and that when we were 18, instead we were on a booze cruise. They used to do it was like £10-11 a head, and you'd get on a coach where I lived. You'd go all the way down to Dover. You'd cross the Channel. You'd go to one of the hypermarkets in Calais or Boulogne, and they'd say, right, you got 4 hours, and then we get in the coach back to the ferry, back over the water, and back home. It was like a 12-hour trip, booze cruise. So we all done it when we was 18, and we used to go over there and buy, I think they used to be in boxes of 30. but the little bottles of Stella, you could buy like 30 for £6 and stuff like that, and always get a big bottle of vodka that no one wanted because it was rank, but everyone bought it because it was cheap. And you used to get them, and they were a little bit stronger, obviously being Stella, before they changed the percentage. But yeah, some of the ones we drank at university, man, just because they were cheap.
Yeah, but that was the thing, wasn't it? I don't know if it happens anymore. Back in the 80s and 90s, we used to, well, I didn't personally, but people used to take their old trucks and stuff like that, and vans, and go over to Calais and buy beer and bring it back. Does that happen anymore?
I don't think so, not so much, because it's just they crack down on stuff, and then the volume you're allowed to come in, and a lot of people used to do it because they used to then fill up a car seat or whatever with fags, cigarettes, and that, they used to get the booze as like an extra, but buy the cigarettes because they were so cheap, and then they'd get
free.
They'd buy them for like £3 a pouch, and then they'd sell them for, I don't know, £6 or £7 a pouch, and they'd be doubling their money. It was an easy little thing. I know a couple of people that done it, but yeah, nowadays no one bothers. It's just not worth it.
Well,
time at your costings and all the hassle and that, I don't think many people do it.
The ferry, if they still do the ferry with the Euro tunnel these days, but they used to. They probably still do this though. If you go into Spain, like my brother Ollie, he'd be like, "Oh, can you get me a bunch of tobacco when you're over there? Because it's so much cheaper in Spain." Or even when we went to Greece.
Do you know what? That's one of my I'm going to change my thing this week. Right, I'm going to go on that. Okay, that's it.
What about Dregs of the Week?
I don't know.
Dregs of the Week.
Right? What are you saying?
I said,
week.
Oh, you love Dregs of the Week.
Oh, it is time. He said it twice. Where is he? He always says, he never comes on screen, does he, that little chap?
He doesn't. He's always in the background, and he always has something to say, and shout something. But I suppose before we do Dregs of the Week, should we do our rating of the beers?
Well, I'm going to drink a bit more of mine because I'm not actually near Dregs of the Week, but we could talk about Dregs of the Week while drinking it, because Dregs of the Week is something we do. We're going to do it every week or every time we do one of these, which is something that either irks you a little bit, or it could be something that you've thought of for a long time that really gets under your skin, and you're supposed to let it go. And I know that Marco over there, the ref himself, I know that he's genuine when he says, "I'm drinking it, it's gone." But I don't know, I'm not that character. I'll say it, and I'll say it's gone, but it won't go. If something
fester.
Unless it gets fixed permanently, then it's going to piss me off for the rest of my life. So yeah, there's quite a few things, and that little thing of you saying that, and it's reminded me of a couple. But yeah, what we're supposed to do is come down to the last inch of beer, which people call the dregs, and
well, we're not quite there, I suppose.
But we introduced it. I mean, that little chap, he needs a word with. Keep interrupting at the wrong time.
I think he heard you talking about it and was like, oh shit, it's my time. I need to say something right now. Shut up, okay? Just wait your time.
Where's he gone for a shower?
Probably to cool himself off a little bit. He was getting so worked up. It was building in his mind.
The drag master, yeah.
Yeah, the drag master monitoring the DrayMen themselves. But
so what's your thing? Do you know what? I think that if I was to go into a pub and have a pint of this, I have enjoyed it, but I wouldn't want more than two of them. It's not. I know. I think I'm not disliking it. I was disappointed it didn't have a big head on it, and or at all. But I'm not disliking it. I'm just saying it's all right for like maybe like an afternoon. You've gone for a couple of drinks and you have a couple of pints. It's
Yeah,
not that, but I wouldn't want to go a whole night on it. You know,
I
like I can with Guinness and other things, and say, yeah, I can easily drink. Well, used to be able to, but you know, 7-8 pints of that. I wouldn't drink 7-8 pints of this.
but you were a little bit different in me because I normally like to have one stout, so I'll have one Guinness or maybe two Guinness if it's St. Patrick's Day. But I can't do the accent. But I'm kind of more of a like lagers and ciders. I'll drink 5 or 6 of them, and then I'll just have one stout. Stout's just a bit heavy, you know, and a bit
Yeah,
strong as
yeah.
well.
This is if you're going out and you want to enjoy a pint. It's get me wrong, it's enjoyable, but it is a little bit of an acquired taste. I mean, it is from a brewery that are, you know, trying different recipes and things like that, and it's nice. It is a stout. Don't get me wrong; it's not the stout I would go for. And when we do stout weeks, I now got something to sort of draw against.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the two lads that are behind it, I wish them all the luck in the world, and I'm certainly going to be trying a couple of them Gorilla Monsoon and the Stone Cold. I hope they do a Rock Bottom soon, but the best one, it's probably been trademarked. But imagine if they'd done a Hulkamania.
I am a real American. Oh, imagine that would be wonderful.
They
Just
could do the can and it tears open and it says what it is. It would be incredible. But maybe that's a bit harder because he's probably got trademarks coming out of his ears.
yeah, because he does his TV show and stuff. But I wonder if they could do some kind of silhouette of him doing that because I love the artwork on that can. I thought it was a little bit modern, you
Well,
know.
the two there's like two eyes there, and
Yeah.
that is the two fellas. It's the emblem of their brewery.
Oh, I see.
It's a very attractive can, definitely. You know,
Definitely.
and the other ones that I've seen on their website are just as good. You know, they really are. But
Yeah.
what your one is there the brewery that does that? They do other beers, obviously.
There are a few on there. They do like a tailgater one. Now, I gotta say about this brewery, their website's great. They show the range of beers, but I don't know much about them. They don't tell their story. I don't know when they were founded. Now, it's the brewery is Panther Island Brewing, and they're based in Fort Worth, Texas, slightly north of Dallas. And their website's very good. You know, you can buy beers, you can select beers, different things like that. But I just don't know their story. So I haven't really got much information. They do some nice, you know, one beer is called a tailgater. They do a road trip snacks beer. Algies, I guess that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, they've got a good little range and some good artwork and such. But I don't know much about them.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe that could. You know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's just my little thing that maybe they need to improve on at the website, just to tell us their story.
Yeah.
I kind of like how you know about them, and we've talked about other beers and breweries before, and kind of gave their history. You know, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like to know a bit about it. I mean, these two guys have got you know, they're really making a go of it. And I can imagine in a few years they'll have a couple. They may have one open already because I've seen some pictures. It looks like their place, but that they have a couple of other sort of bars and stuff open. But I mean, maybe they had plans for that, and this virus thing's covered that at the minute. But hopefully, it hasn't affected their beer sales. I know that the place that I bought this beer from, which obviously gets all craft beers and things from around the country and different places, I know that they sold out because I phoned and reserved it. And when she said, "Oh, you had the last can. So
Wow.
I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did do that. And
Well, that's encouraging for them.
oh yeah. But I mean, I don't know how many the shop got in, but definitely. And also, it was Halloween, so it's novelty, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Was buying them. Because if they'd had more Halloween beers in, if they'd have had 4 or 5 in, I definitely would have bought a couple more. They didn't. So
You're creeping into my drag there, but I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, no worries. Right. So let's have a review then of yours.
Yeah. So I'm going to get it. It's a good stout. It's just a steady stout and an easy stout. I'm probably going to give this a 6.
You know what? Thinking for mine.
Yeah.
I was thinking mine.
6 as well, you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 6, I think. I mean, we only go on the half mark, don't we? So none of this bullshit 6.21 and all that sort of stuff. But I think someone would come along and love it. Trust me. And you go on about beer connoisseurs.
Yeah.
Anyone himself a connoisseur of anything is a bit of a twat. But
yeah.
They would certainly someone would certainly think this is the best drink they've ever had because it's got flavour, it's got depth. It's just not my taste for drinking a lot of.
Right. Yeah. It's same here. I wouldn't drink a lot. 1 is enough for me. I may drink it again next Halloween, but yeah, I was slightly disappointed that the sweetness didn't jump out at me. But I enjoyed it. It was nice for Halloween. Got me into the spirit of things.
How much, out of interest? I mean, I mentioned how much my can was, but that's because it was from a very worthy craft. Oh, cool, man, cool.
Yeah.
They probably jacked the price up by double. But how much was your can?
I have no idea. I'm sorry, because I believe my good wife bought it for me, and she buys all my beers now, and we get them delivered to the door.
You can't put a price on love, so
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sure it was a very good price. Panther Brewing, thank you.
Well, I think that if you get beer as a present, it's priceless, isn't it?
That's true. I've kind of, in some ways, I could be a drag as well. I don't get to go to the off license anymore and pick out my own beers because they all get delivered, and my good lady picks them out for me. So I'm like, oh,
yeah. Hang on.
Yeah. They're sitting at the door, literally, and maybe that's just the result of COVID. Maybe that's just a side thing of COVID,
How far is your local off license where you could pick up these?
10-minute drive. It's just down the.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just down the side of the highway. And again, this I normally go to Specs. Specs is a big chain here of off license. It's massive, but they are big. We probably have 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 stores in San Antonio and a bunch up in Austin. So it's a national chain, and they really target the local brewers as well. Ooh, spooky. But yeah, it's it's. Oh, you lot, drag the week. Oh, sorry, I've heard him again. He's out of the shower.
I tell you what, if he interrupts you again, we did say originally in the pilot episode of this that this broadcast, although there's thousands of miles between us, it could sort of tip over into ultra violence. If he interrupts you again, you smack him.
Okay, I will. He is getting a bit ultra violent here. I will, but he does. He has a fair point. He's doing a job. I know he's not critically important.
No, I'm not saying that. He's got a job to do.
But he's rude though with it.
Into mid-flow, and we're in the middle of, come on.
Talking about off licenses and just getting into the swing of things with these wonderful stouts.
I'll never have him work with me.
I don't know what his background is. I'll have to ask him. I just interviewed
Oh,
him in his voice.
so you know, if he's teed you up, you're on your dregs there. Come on,
Well,
stick
that's
it,
true.
Chris Mako.
Okay, do you want my drag? Because you're not quite there, are you, Marty?
Well, I'm being polite. There's manners, isn't there? I've offered it to you, so
All right, I'm going to throw this out there. And my drag of the week is early beers. And when I say early beers, I mean, if you want a pumpkin beer, they normally start selling them in August. If you want a Christmas beer, they normally start selling them in October. And one of the you know, I'm not a beer snob, but I'm a bit of a lover of craft beers, you know, and it's hard to find pumpkin beers, Halloween beers by the time Halloween hits because they're all sold out. You know, they need to push these beers back. It's same with Oktoberfests. It started, luckily, my good wife found them early, but the Oktoberfests are coming out in August. It's summer, sake, you know. What do you think of that? I mean,
well, how long have you been worried about this? Ever since you've been over there?
No, I didn't really get into the craft beer scene for probably 3 years into my stint in America.
Right. So you're talking about that you've noticed this pattern of them
Probably about
releasing.
5 years. 5 years, I would say. I've started to notice this since I've got in.
So for 5 years, you've noticed that they release Halloween-inspired beers in August, and they release Christmas-inspired beers in about October, November. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you've noticed every time it gets near to one of these major occasions, they've sold out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's.
Just buy them earlier.
You're not going to buy, but you're not going out to look for pumpkin beers in August, are you? It's summertime. You still focus on the ciders and such.
I already know from this conversation that you are not one of those doomsday preppers. Because when that siren goes off, you'll say, well, they never told me they were going to put the siren on, so I didn't buy anything. I mean, do you have this same same theory on advent calendars? You know, I mean,
I have this same theory on Christmas.
But do you have the same theory on advent calendars? I mean, they make us open them from the 1st of December.
I would have a problem if they're selling advent calendars in summer. Yeah, and probably in September.
In summer, I get that, but no, I know what you mean. It's I felt like that generally anyway, because as soon as Halloween is over here, it's just finished, about to finish tonight. Tomorrow, I know that it will be Christmas adverts on the telly. And we've already had Christmas this and Christmas that. Well, over in America, you've got Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's a circuit breaker, so it's...
We got Guy Fawkes night, you know, with bonfire night with all the fireworks and things to do. But they ram Christmas down your throat, and like the supermarkets here have been selling, now this is a gripe and I know that you'll go along with it, but they've been selling boxes of chocolates such as Cadbury's Heroes and Celebrations and Roses and Quality Street since September. So that novelty that we used to have in the 80s of your mum or dad or whoever was in charge of you coming home sort of nearer Christmas going, oh, we're going to have a box of Quality Street for Christmas, and it was a treat that you looked forward to, has been diluted by these massive organisations ramming it down your throat. So, of course, when they're selling them for £3 a tin, people buy them. But they're no longer a treat for Christmas. They've become a seasonal thing for the last 4 months of the year.
Does that apply? I'm just trying to think. They used to do this with Cadbury's cream eggs, where they would hold them back and then suddenly release them so many months before Easter.
Yeah,
But do they still do that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I can sort of see it with beer that you would release if you was Halloween. You would release a few weeks early because you're brewing something that is for a thing. So someone might come along and think, right, we're going to have maybe a Halloween wedding or a Halloween party, and they buy an absolute shitload of them. But when it's Christmas and they're ramming it down your throat from September, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Well, I'm trying to think about this as well, because when I was young, my mother would hold back and not do the Christmas decorations until a week before Christmas. I think she bent the rules a little bit when we were growing up to 2 weeks before Christmas. Yeah. Now, we put the Christmas decorations, it's not me, we put the Christmas decorations up after Thanksgiving. So December hits, they're already up.
Yeah, we'll do with the kids because we put it up from like the start of December. But when people, some dickheads, they put it up and they're already on fucking the website over here, like the Sun newspaper or the Mirror, saying, "I've done all my Christmas shopping and I've got the tree up." Fuck off, fuck right off.
Bollocks to that. But I
remember being in Chumley once with a proper old friend of ours, and there was a Christmas tree up towards the end of February.
But they hadn't get to bring it down.
They just didn't bother to take it down, which was odd to see the other side of Christmas. But it is weird, isn't it? It is weird.
It is weird. But
my Greg of the week.
Okay, yeah. Hang on.
Chalk it up.
Oh, you lot, Greg of the week. He just wanted to pipe in there.
Right, that's enough. Tell him to go now.
Oh, you lot. Oi, shut up.
Hey.
Okay, sorry. He's getting on my nerves.
What's his name, your little butler?
What's his name? Terry.
Oh, Terry. I thought it was. Do you know, when you told me you got him last Christmas, well, into the new year it was, when you told me you got Terry, I thought to myself, well, he's a bit familiar. Surely it should be Terence, but that's just me. But there we are.
I call him Tell sometimes, and then I think, oh, I'm not from London. Why am I calling him Tell? So I just call him Terry. And
Terence.
Yeah, Terence. He used to work in a hardware shop. Very short little fella he is, with big old mop of hair. But he was a little guy in a hardware shop that used to try and control everything. And then
so he's definitely short and stout.
Short and stout, and he used to try and sell a bit of blue on the side, but he came into my employment in the end to help battle. Is that what you call it, Terry? Yeah, he said it, battle. Yeah, but yeah, so he's been here since.
What the fuck is battle?
Well, it's a terminology for a battler, and what they do is battling.
Oh, sorry, I see what you mean.
Battling.
I was doing a bit of buttling. So he didn't. His sizest blue didn't work. So
no.
Buttling. Do you know when he delivers your food and that, like when you're having a TV dinner, does he balance it on his head?
I haven't seen that. I've seen him balance it in other areas, but not his head. I won't elaborate.
Balance it in other areas? Come on.
Not when.
If it wasn't rude, you would have said on his shoulder or on his arm, but you've said other areas. I don't want to know.
It's normally late at night when he thinks nobody's around, but yeah, and I'm just watching my. Okay, let's stop it now. He's gone. Let's not talk about Terry right now. Let's get onto your dress.
Hey, well, I'll go in a minute because this is taking a real bad turn.
Well, I told you what he sold.
Let's have a
That's his
drink.
background. Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't know he balanced things in other places.
Why is he still in my employ? That's what I wonder. It stopped now. He's got better. He's still very rude, but it has got better.
And he sleeps on your balcony still.
Yeah, it's comfortable. There's a
Good.
cupboard out. There's a cupboard out there if it gets cold.
If it goes below 10 degrees, oh, good. Oh, bless it.
It does freeze. All right. Anyway,
He ain't back again, is he?
watch those glasses, Terry. I don't want any more smashing today. Oi. Okay. Right. Let's just get on.
I might reach through the screen. I'll tell you that.
Drinking my
Right.
dregs again.
Let's have a look at the dreg of the week. I think I might go with my original one, which was because it was in the spirit of Halloween, and usually this time of year, bar this blooming virus, there would have been thousands and hundreds of parties all around the world. And we certainly love a Halloween party, as you know, all the ones we used to have when you lived in, things like that. And we've had some fantastic ones with the kids since we've had them. And of course, this year we couldn't have a party because we're now currently in lockdown again. And it got me thinking about the Halloween parties we had and all of the fantastic effort that people had gone to when we've, once I went as Stay Puffed, and other people have been as scary scarecrows, and which was yourself, wasn't it? You went as a scarecrow once.
I was, yeah, until somebody stole my mask.
And then, of course, we used to always make an effort, not just with Halloween, with people's birthdays. We're all going to go out as cowboys, or we're all going to go out as whatever the theme was, animals or whatever.
Yeah, zoo, fun like
what
that.
To me is when we've gone out as a circle of friends, and there's, I don't know, sometimes there's 5 of us, sometimes there'll be 20 of us, whatever. The same characters would turn up, and we've had this before when we was at university, and it was a different circle of friends. We'll all dress up and make a massive effort, and then the one person would come along in normal clothes. Right? Yeah. Normal clothes, and you'd say, it's fancy dress, didn't you? Oh, yeah, well, I didn't want to blah, blah, blah. And then, this isn't the thing, right? Because often people don't go dressed up. What they will then do is they'll find something, whether it be Christmas or Halloween or birthday party, something like a paper hat or a or a little, badge or something. And then, of course, they've had a couple of drinks. They're not bladdered, but they've had 2 or 3 pints. And then they start going up to you, and you're all completely make-upped up with wigs on and torn clothes or whatever you might be. And they start interrupting, saying, oh, I've got a badge on, or look at my hat, and expect that they're going to get some sort of respect or recognition for it.
Yeah, I think I did. Do you remember I did that zoo party for my 30th, and I won't name names, but somebody turned up in just a shirt, and I can't remember what he was carrying, but he wasn't dressed in any way, but he brought something like I am a zookeeper or some silly thing like that on his, and he stayed for like half hour, but it was the same principle, no effort.
Yeah, all right, okay, you've turned up not in fancy dress. You look an absolute prick. Everyone else is. We've gone in some things. I mean, you and me have dressed up as women before, traipsing strange bars in bloody Manchester.
Exactly.
But they wouldn't go to their own local pub for fear of embarrassment that they may be shown up where no one gives a fuck anyway, and they look more of a dickhead for not even trying. But then to ram it down your throat by getting some sort of Halloween witch's hat and, I've got a hat on. Fuck off.
I know. Just get out. Get your coat and get out right now. You're offending me by coming to my party. Just do it.
I think I watched a kids' film the other day. The kids are watching it. It's incredibly mental, called Fred, and he done a series and stuff, but it's the first one. And he gets bullied and stuff like that by the local jocks. And then in the end, he sets up this party and becomes famous. And he like YouTube famous, if you want.
Yeah.
And then he goes around, but before he goes around to everyone in the house and he uninvites them to his party.
What?
And that was bloody brilliant.
What? So what? He did that before the party?
And that before the party, and then he made out that his party was the best party of the year, and everyone became insanely jealous.
Oh,
It's a good little. It's an insane film, and the kid that plays it at the time is fucking mental. But he uninvites people, and he goes into their house in front of their mum and dad, and they're all like, "Oh," and he's going, "I'm having a party," and all this, and he's going, "And you're uninvited." And I just thought, oh, awesome. I'd love to do that to loads of people.
Oh, me too. But I was at an office building in my job the other day, and everybody had made an effort to dress up. I wasn't. Well, I was in my work clothes, but I was just coming into that office building and leaving again. But everybody in the office were just wearing different costumes. It was one older woman. She was dressed as an old maid ghost, you know, and she was kind of trying to hover along the hallway, just making a real good effort. Then I saw this one guy just in his tie and shirt, his normal work clothes, and I was saying, what a knob. You just spoilt it, you know. There's always one. You're right. Wherever you go, there's always one, or maybe there's two, you know. There's always somebody.
It was an office you was visiting. It wasn't your office.
Oh, no, I make an effort. It was my office. We don't do that in ours anyway. But, yeah, never. But I was like, you know, and they were setting up a Halloween party downstairs, and they had all these treats. I was really impressed. I was just that just stood out in my mind. And actually, just you bringing it up just made me think about it right now. There's always one, you know? So... yeah, that's a good drag in my opinion, and I'm cheers to that. I've drunk all mine. So, I suppose we're towards the end of our little...
It is the end of the Halloween special, and I hope that everyone at home has had a spooky Halloween by the time they've seen this, and
yeah,
be good to each other. And if they've had any Halloween beers along the way that they highly recommend, or highly diss if you want, if they didn't enjoy it, let us know.
Please do. Please comment and let us know on things like that, and stouts as well. Let us recommend some good stouts in the UK and the USA. And we are going to do a stout special soon. I don't know what the next one's going to be. We'll think about that.
It'd just be a normal... I've got a couple of beers that I've bought that I'm going to review, a very local brewery that I'm intrigued. One of the local breweries said, pour it and let the sediments...
Let the sediments sit?
Yeah, settle, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
It is interesting. I hope it ain't fucking muck, I tell you that.
Some of the best IPAs I've had have a lot of sediment in them. Some of the best ciders as well. Well, not the best.
And it's local to here, but I don't know if I do that one next. There's another one I was looking at. So, yeah, been nice to speak to you again. Nice to have a jaw about Halloween-style beers, and we'll see what happens.
Same here. Spooky times. Enjoy your Halloween night, folks.
That's not that Terrence. What are you doing to him?
He's not being... He's not being...
Oh, look, my hands.
You haven't seen his costume tonight. I won't elaborate on that one. But have a spooky time, everyone. The DrayMen will return.
The DrayMen's knowledge is the only knowledge worth listening to.
Happy days.
Not much knowledge in it.
And follow us on Instagram as well. There'll be postings on these beers.
Unfortunately, as I've been travelling round and I was going to a different pub each week and trying a local ale, we are now in lockdown, so all the pubs are shut. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. And tomorrow, I'm at a really good place as well, and all the pubs are shut. So I might just take a pint glass and a cheeky beer, stop in a lay-by somewhere, chalk it
Just
up.
do that, get some photos, chalk it up, and you will see more from me on my travels as well, because we're not in lockdown, folks, and we shall see you soon. Ta-ta from the DrayMen.
That's out from the DrayMen. Drink up, be good to each other.